Hello, my film fan friends. This is Stacia again, coming at you with the 20th video, the last video in my Christmas movie series for 2023. This is the Christmas Eve video. So today's movie is the 1945 classic Christmas in Connecticut. This stars Barbara Stanwyck as Elizabeth Lane, Dennis Morgan as Jefferson Jones, Sidney Greenstreet as Alexander Yardley, Reginald Gardiner as John Sloan, S.C. Sakall as Felix, and Una O'Connor as Nora. The movie was directed by Peter Godfrey and written by Lionel Hauser. The basic story is that Elizabeth Lane is like your Martha Stewart back in the day, with writing magazine articles how she keeps her house and makes her food. If the Martha Stewart thing was all just a lie that was made up to sell magazines, because nobody could really see inside her life. She was a busy New York writer, just writing for the magazine, and it was successful. The series of housekeeping, cooking stuff that she did as Elizabeth Lane, and she just kept that persona going, a persona that included a husband and a child that she didn't have. She was a single, busy working woman in the city, writing for a magazine. The basic story is that Elizabeth Lane is like your Martha Stewart back in the day, with writing magazine articles how she keeps her house and makes her food. If the Martha Stewart thing was all just a lie that was made up to sell magazines, because nobody could really see inside her life. She was a busy New York writer, just writing for the magazine, and it was successful. The series of housekeeping, cooking stuff that she did as Elizabeth Lane, and she just kept that persona going, a persona that included a husband and a child that she didn't have. She was a single, busy working woman in the city, writing for a magazine. Jefferson Jones is a returning soldier from the war. He was injured, and in his hospital recovery, he does meet a nurse that he kind of manipulates just to get better food on his recovery, and gets engaged to her, although he has no intention on actually marrying her. But she wants to quicken the actual marriage up, so she knows that Elizabeth Lane, he's been reading the articles, been dreaming about her food and everything. So she writes to the publisher of the magazine about the soldier and how Elizabeth Lane's recipes and homemaking skills kept him going. And the publisher gets the letter, and his idea is to invite the soldier to Elizabeth Lane's house for Christmas dinner, so he can experience her country living life and her quaint little family and the way she keeps a house and cooks a meal. So like I said, Elizabeth has been lying about being this person. So she and her friends, John Sloan and Felix, they concoct a plan. John Sloan has his own country house, and they don't want to be liars, and John Sloan and her have kind of been seeing each other, and he asked her to marry her for real because she's not getting any younger. And so she agrees to this, and they go to his country house and set up this fake life. They were intending to get married by the justice of the peace before everything went down, but through a series of mishaps that never happens. Then Jefferson Jones comes early, and a lot of things happen, and in the end, Elizabeth and Jefferson end up falling in love. It is the true, love story of love at first sight. she was almost married to the wrong man to keep up this ruse, so she wouldn't get fired, and a whole bunch of other things happens, but in the end, reality is she finds true love in the soldier who loved her article so much when he comes to her fake Connecticut farm to experience her fake dinners that she doesn't cook. It is a quaint, sweet Christmas story. I say Christmas story, it doesn't have a lot to do with Christmas, except it happens during Christmas time, and it's called Christmas in Connecticut. But it is considered a Christmas movie. And this movie is steeped in 1940s, right after the war. This movie came out like during the war when it was ending. VE Day had happened a couple of months before it was released, and VJ was going to happen a couple of months after it was released. This movie was actually released in August of 1945 instead of at Christmas time, but it was a huge success even though it was a Christmas movie released at the end of summer. And Barbara Stanwyck, of course, as she is in everything, is fantastic in this movie. The list of supporting characters, they're also fantastic in this. It's sort of, a comedy of kind of errors, but not slapsticky, humorous. One of Barbara Stanwyck's comedies, which people, I think nowadays, mostly think of her as a serious actress who was a lot of femme fatale roles, but she also held court in comedy. And she was pretty good in it. But yes, for modern audiences watching this, besides her being a career woman who, was a writer and everything, it is sort of that traditional 1950s, in this case 1940s, after the war, women were at home taking care of their men, were supposed to be, homesteading and raising a family and putting America back together after these boys came home after the war. But she's a career woman. She is successful, but also kind of Hallmark movie in a way that big city girl needs to go to the country and find true love. That being said, I do enjoy this movie a lot. The writing is sharp for it. The acting is great. The setting is beautiful. It is just a pleasure to watch, and I really, really, really think if you do not watch this during Christmas time, you should add this to your Christmas movie rotation. Incidentally, there is a remake of this movie that happened in the early 90s, starring Diane Cannon and Chris Christopherson as the main title roles in the romantic comedy, and it was directed by Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was a TNT movie when they were trying to make original content back then, and it is terrible, just terrible. But yes, I do recommend Christmas in Connecticut. It is, despite its kind of sexist leanings, it is a joy to watch. You just have to take those things with the time that they were made in. Like I said, beautifully acted, a tight, funny script, a great setting, beautifully photographed. It deserves a place in your Christmas movie rotation. So that's a wrap on my Christmas movie marathon for this year. We made it to 20 movies. Originally, I wanted to make it to 25, but that became just too much for me to do. But I hope you enjoyed these 20 movies for Christmas. We'll have to see what I can do next year as ways of Christmas, figuring out which Christmas movies I can watch that I haven't done before is a challenge. I don't think I'll try to do 25 again or even 20, but I will see next year. But I want to thank all of you for coming along with me with this journey. I have gained several subscribers this month. I'm at 77 now, and I love each and every one of you. I mean, it really does mean a lot to me that you guys have subscribed. And like I said before, I know 77 is not a lot of subscribers, but it is a lot to me. So if you're at this point and you haven't subscribed, Please subscribe. Leave me a comment. I love discussing movies. I love people's movie recommendations to see if I have missed something that I should watch. But I will see you all next time. I'm probably going to come back with a New Year's movie on New Year's Eve. And then into the new year, we'll have more things coming, probably just going down to posting once or twice a week. So I will see you then. But I love you all. Thank you for joining me. Bye.